with the officials. We'll get into that storyline in a moment. You could be excused if there is no familiarity with the two national teams, especially for Ecuador, in an interim assignment for Jorge Celico, the youth national team coach for Ecuador, who's in the running for the senior job, looking ahead towards the Pre-Olympicos, trying to get back into that stage. While for Argentina, Lionel Scaloni bringing in a lot of new faces himself. Gearing up for the national anthem in Elche, a warm day in southeastern Spain. 80 degrees, and as you can see, bright sunshine almost directly overhead. Lionel Scaloni seems to be rather sure at the moment for his hold on the Argentine national team job. For Jorge Celico, this could be a good resume builder. The fans who have shown up here in full voice. We are just about ready to roll. There you see the armband on Germán Pezzella, the veteran. Only his 14th appearance for the national team. And here's how Argentina will lay out. Phil Shane alongside Ray Hudson, and might be a few missing stars, but one in the emergence, Lautaro Martínez. Ray.
Well, this is a player that's really done marvelously well at the club level and now at the international level. Phil, he's the marksman, all right, keeping out Icardi, and sent Icardi on his way because Internazionale. So this is the guy, 22-year-old. He will be occupying that central attacking position for the Albicelesti for probably the next decade. So he's in a wonderful run of form as well. Started at Racing and he went on to bigger and better things, and his form is like a bottle rocket, and the trajectory will continue as we see Pezzella lining up alongside the captain Arriaga for Ecuador. That tree, of course, representing Ecuador with this team, and maybe trying to send out some nicer news for a country that's in terrible turmoil back home, Phil.
There you take a look at Pedro Ortiz, just his second cap for the 29-year-old from Delfín. Had a chance to see a lot of Junior Sornoso in this Copa Libertadores season. Not much of Miguel Estrada, the 23-year-old, to be running the front line. Marcos Acuña in Argentina. That left backside will be up for the taking. It's interesting when you look at the lineup here today. There's the possibility with Juan Foyth listed as the right back. They could actually be going three in the back today.
Certainly with Acuña as well, is lined up in that left back position. Expect to see him pushing up forward, the sporting man. Marcos likes to get forward all right, and nicely rejigged lineup from Scaloni, missing a lot of their recognised big guns. No Di Maria, no Icardi, no Lionel Messi. This is a rejigged team, all right, but they've been playing very well. I saw the game against Germany, Phil. Argentina played well against a German team that, for me, looked as if their rebuilding process looked pretty different for a German national team, but the Mannschaft played some wonderful one-touch football on the break. It's a really good game. That is will be likewise. Beautiful day here in Spain.
And the ball is rolling. Argentina in their familiar albiceleste. That's sky blue and white. While the yellow with the dark blue of Ecuador defending the goal towards the right. Phil Shane alongside Ray Hudson. Glad you've joined us today. Argentina and Ecuador pushing up that far flank.
Tackle.
Lucas Ocampos on the off wing today. Normally used to seeing him out on the right into the midfield. Gonzalo Plata tripped up, and it's going to be a free kick. Interesting, the two sporting teammates, Plata for Ecuador, Acuña for Argentina, collide for our first foul.
Wonderful slide tackle originally from Gonzalo Plata. In that left deep wing position that Argentina are attacking.
Tracking it down on this near side is Castillo.
As you said,
Mexican-based winger.
George Saliso comes in. Well, is he under pressure? He's already had the job, but it's his 17th job in charge altogether. But they've been on a nice uptick of form, Ecuador, and certainly good wins against Peru, who, as you know very well, being married to a Peruvian lass, that's a good team on their day. And certainly for Ecuador to come in with all the problems that they've had and all the disruption to the team, it was a good win.
Ball into the corner, tracking it down is Ocampos. Starring at Sevilla, coming into his own, into the middle, good cross. The header just glances away, and Pedro Ortiz flies over to grab it.
Wonderful connective football from the albiceleste down that left side. And another situation that we saw against Germany, the variety of the approach play from Scaloni's men was impressive. A lot of good one-touch football and attacking, and when the substitutes were made against Germany, after going 2-0 down, man, I tell you what, Phil, Germany looked as if they were rocking and rolling, and Jogi Löw must have been absolutely bursting inside with how well Germany played. There are a lot of reports, especially in the English press, about how Germany are been looking really way off in their rebuild. I'm not so sure about that. I thought there was some exceptional football played by Germany, and the way this Argentina came back, despite being 2-0 down, was as impressive. They rattled the goal frame of ter Stegen on a couple of times, so they were fearless, these young new young guns from Argentina, and I thought were both nicely impressive teams. It was an exceptional friendly international, Germany against Argentina. So thank you very much, lads. I really enjoyed that game.
Castillo to the inside. Let's see if Ecuador can provide a test. Hard to tell as to how good this Argentina really is, putting the pieces together. Scaloni trying to really, I guess, find that next generation or the replacement parts.
Again, lovely football, unlucky there, that stinger, trying to switch the point of attack. But nicely composed. Whatever it is that Celisso's doing, Phil, he's building in a bit of confidence into Castillo's men. And as I said, it's been well documented, all the problems off the field that this Ecuador team had, and the players that were found guilty of it were reprimanded hard and basically excluded from the squad. And putting that back together, tactically it's hard enough. Emotionally and spiritually, regathering your national team is more difficult. And especially on top of all of that, the terrible situation that's happening in Ecuador, but they look as if they've come here today to play.
Ball pushed away, a foul in the process. Pezzella getting in the way. Strong run, Estrada, and now a free kick just outside the area.
Nice run, wasn't it? Attacking, and again, plenty of options on the attack, left and right, but he says damn the torpedoes and drives right on. Nice football again from Ecuador. Bright start for Latri.
Sixth appearance for Estrada in the national team.
Gets away with one there, I think. Lovely position for them. These are the ones that practice till the moon goes to sleep at night. It's a beautiful position for a pop at goal. Not too close, not too far. If the dynamic's right, he should be able to get this over and around, and big Agustín knows it.
30 yards out. The Timao playmaker Sornosa over the ball. Takes the shot, deflected. It might have been going in, but it glances off the top of the wall and out for the corner.
Right, Phil. This one's heading in. This one's got net on its lips. That one takes a decisive touch over the top. Oh, man, I'm telling you, as Tommy Smith says, that's bulging the old onion bag.
From the corner. Sornosa again. And a little shove. The funny thing is, he's looking right at the ref when he does it.
Well, he's looking towards the ref to see if the ref's looking, Phil. That's what you do.
Walter Kannemann, the Gremio man, harassing in the box.
Played well lately for Gremio, for me. Walter Kannemann, only 5 caps for Argentina coming into this game, but he is one of the reasons Gremio is where it is. The problems that Argentina have had in that central mid-defensive positions, so well documented, Phil.
You know what, he might not be as flashy as some that are in contention, might not be as flamboyant as others, maybe more of a journeyman, but he is proving to be a good lockdown central defender.
Sure. Haven't had too many clubs. Started at San Lorenzo and ends up now in Brazil, but you're right, he's no Ayala, but certainly a wonderful player. Well, solid player.
Off to this near side, and again, take a look where Foyth is, and it does look they are going 3 in the back. Foyth, Pezzella, and Kannemann with Acuña on one side.
Foyth is the one that's getting a lot of plaudits. Tottenham Hotspur man, of course. There's an NFL game going on over there. What a ball.
Headed away at the last moment by Arriaga.
Nice touch.
Blasted into the middle and just past the boot of Alario, touched wide for the corner.
Nico González, who keeps this alive. The young Stuttgart man making his debut for the Albiceleste with that touch. That's a beautiful header, and it's angled with the right weight, and it allows a stinger right across the face of the goal in front of Pedro Ortiz. Good football. Nice start. Both ways.
From the corner. Out comes Ortiz, impeded.
He's coming out and he's cleaning decks and he don't care who's there. There's 3 players down here. The goalkeeper takes a nasty knock as well, but he's brave and he comes and he claims it nicely. And right there you see González getting wiped out. That's a brave attempt from González. Is that a foul? He gets the ball, Phil, but then the contact comes through right onto Nicolás's head. You know, it's one of these situations. The goalkeeper gets the protection. If that happens with an outfield player, you wonder if the referee in the outfield would, outside the box, would call it one way or another, but nothing called because the goalkeepers get protected, man.
They are the true stars of the game.
Oh, of course they are.
Everyone comes to see the goalkeeper. Pedro Ortiz, in all honesty, that is one of the reasons why they do protect. We've seen other situations where it's full steam ahead, let the Mack truck roll, but this was more jumping up to get the ball with his ribs exposed.
Fair enough. So then he gets the ball, but then his fists come and clean out Nicolás. Now, for me, that's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Ball just trickles across. A little bit of difficulty with these new restart rules inside the box for Ecuador.
Turn.
Foul outside the box. Free kick from an angle as
tries to sell it.
Cifuentes couldn't put on the brakes.
Jose knows he's going to get caught here. Nice with the arms up.
Nice from Lautaro.
Yeah, he steps through.
80 degrees, a sunny day in southeastern Spain. Not that far away. We saw Chile and Colombia play, which is one of the reasons this officiating crew is still there. That's Luca Barbeno from San Marino, the senior assistant today, also from San Marino, the wonderfully named Salvatore Tutti Frutti.
Oh, nice.
And you did not have anything to do with the birth certificate.
Get your Tutti Frutti ice cream.
Ball whipped into the wall and out. Meanwhile, the other assistant is Andrew Parodi, and Jason Barcelo is the 4th official. He was the referee, and those two from Gibraltar. That was an historic match, the first FIFA match for a Gibraltar referee.
Oh, nicely.
Ball to the goal line, with the cross blocked by Ortiz and cleared out of the box. The rebound still rattling around. Now at the top of the box, it was Nadio Aymar with the block. Cifuentes is down. And Luca Barbeno with the first yellow card of the match.
Good football this from Lucas Alario. Out wide. Some wonderful hesitation. And this one nearly leads to the opening goal. Again, wonderful football from Argentina. This foul. In the old days, once upon a time, they would be applauding that challenge, but the game's changed. It's cleaning up. Basically got to ask the player, may I tackle you? Here's a wonderful play from Lucas Alario. Wonderful hold up, and then that stinger across. Alario it is that's trying to meet the train at the station.
Second time he's come up just inches short. Ball deflected away. Argentina regroups.
Now it was Lucas Ocampos, Phil, excuse me, on that left side. It was wonderful in the hold-up play.
He's been one of the best players in La Liga this year for Sevilla, but normally on the right side.
Nice again.
Ripping up a divot. Alario. Turf looks to be in good condition, but maybe just a little soft, as we can see there. Talk about Jorge Celico, the Argentine-born boss, at least for the moment, of this Ecuador side. This is second stint in charge of the first team on an interim basis, coming in to try and clean up the mess left in the wake of Bolillo Gomez. To the center of the park for Paredes. The PSG man whips it into the corner, and Ocampos with space. Long stride, deflected cross. Glancing header, Arriaga.
A good response this from Argentina after Ecuador had started so well. Play on.
Handball, trying to cut around. It just clips.
Well, he goes to deck, and the sliding, he wins the ball, but then there's a ricochet onto his arm.
Celico in charge back in 2017-18. Had 2 matches then. That was the tail end of qualifying. It was against Chile, they lost 2-1. It was at Argentina, and they got beat 3-1 thanks to a hat trick from Lionel Messi. I guess the good news for Celico today is no Lionel Messi. Bringing it down inside the box, Cifuentes. Meanwhile, his second stint against Copa America runners-up Peru and Bolivia, 2-0, outscoring the opposition 4-0. So Celico in better position this time.
And quick, slick football from Scaloni's man.
Foyth inside. Back out wide for González.
Unlucky.
González wrestled to the ground.
Again, some nice touches.
Estupiñán making his debut today. Caught on the wrong end of that foul. Rodrigo the Paul. Driven across.
Good ball, isn't it?
Headed high into the air outside the 18.
Wonderful free kick delivered there. Nothing at the end of it, but really textbook. Beats the shallow pass. Beats that initial wall of both his attackers and the defenders beautifully with a lovely flighted ball with pace, and then drops it into an area that should have been attacked a little bit more vigorously from Argentina. Nice turn.
Looking to go down the line. Ocampos puts on the brakes. Bounce to the inside.
3-on-1.
Good step in, Espinosa.
Oh, look
Edge
out.
of the 18, thinking
nicely.
about the shot, takes the volley as it settles to his feet, but Lautaro unable to get that one on target.
But it's how applaudable in the failure is it? No, you don't need to say apologies, Lautaro. Not for this. This is beautiful football, and he just cannot adjust his gyroscope quick enough. One touch to control it, a little bit of rainbow, but no pot of gold. Beautiful from the Internazionale man again. Got confidence coming out of his ear holes. There's a good shot at the Manuel Martínez Valero Stadium. Elche in the second division now.
Not that far removed. Stripped away in the midfield. Ocampos now from the right. Back for Rodrigo. Paredes. And off to Foyth. 9th appearance for the 21-year-old. Highly sought after. Castillo down on the ground and sportingly rolled into touch.
Look like we've got a couple of players from Major League Soccer out there today, Phil, but looked as if it was going to be very much a bigger representation of Major League Soccer for Ecuador.
Well, Jackson Mendez from Orlando City in the midfield, and Arriaga, the 25-year-old defender on that back line from Seattle. part of that next generation. Diego Palacios also available on the bench, the defender from LA. A few Mexicans out there as well. Castillo from Santos Laguna. And the ever dangerous Tigres striker Ener Valencia. 51 caps. By my count, that's more than everyone in the starting lineup right now for Ecuador.
I was going to say it, and is in comparison to some real chicks out there that are just starting to fluff their footballing feathers for Ecuador. A lot of young guns, and they've been holding up pretty well and showing that they've got some fangs in their teeth as well. Lovely switch.
Settled far side. González looking to the inside, looking for Martínez, cut out by Darío Aymar. Barcelona defender, but not the one just up the coast. One back in Guayaquil. 7th cap for the 24-year-old defender. This will swing away from Ortiz. 4 in the box for Argentina. Make it 5. Across the header to the corner. Unstoppable. Alario. Argentina takes the lead in the 20th minute.
Magisterial header from Lucas, who rises like a salmon out of a beautiful summer stream. This is a magnificent header. Nice delivery again from Argentina. The set players have been really good supplies, but look at this. He bullies his way up and he asks them for his lunch money. That's a great header. Beautiful trajectory, dipping in. He's got to win it above 3 players. He locks his focus on it like a hungry hawk, and then that's magnificent placement. No chance for the Delfin man, Pedro Ortiz, but a beautiful header from Lucas Alario.
Bayer Leverkusen man, 3 goals now, just his 6th appearance. Maybe, just maybe, another scoring star in the making. Ray, we've talked about how with no Lionel Messi, the fact you could even throw in no Agüero, no Di Maria, but now Martínez, who scored 9 goals in just 14 games, and Alario with a goal every other game. Maybe that next generation ready to blossom.
They've come together well, despite the glittering array of true big diamond players, of course, of world class, inarguably. And what Scaloni's doing is just melding these players that are talented, but even Dybala. How can we forget the little jewel, La Joya? Again.
Well, La Joya maybe needing a new setting. And if he doesn't watch out, he could be bypassed midway through this first half. 3rd corner of the game. Whipped in near post, glancing header to the middle. Alario gets ahead to it again,
yeah,
but
it's a wonderful variation on a theme here. The brilliant set piece cut in, and the first man meets it, and the second man, knowing that he's going to meet it, is asking what if it gets through, and it nearly did. Lovely touch header from this corner, and Argentina wants something here inside the penalty box. Is VAR here today?
I think he's on vacation.
In a galaxy, VAR away. Sorry. Here's the one he's being called upon.
Ooh. Yeah. And that was in the box. Could have easily been a penalty.
Your Peruvian wife wakes you up in the morning with stronger hits, Phil.
Yeah, we don't have VAR either. Jackson Mendez, the Lion. The roar goes awry. Ecuador not backing down, but trailing. How do they respond? Mentioned Celico 2-0 in this stint as the interim Ecuador boss, and he knows it's a rather tenuous hold.
Nice touch.
Flicks off the heel of Arriaga.
He's in.
González tracks it down, lifts it to himself. Ortiz hesitated, but lives to tell about it. Deflected wide for the corner.
Nice set up from Alario for Nico González, who's really growing more confidence as this game's going on. There's the elbow across the face. Certainly nothing to smirk about, but not given.
Paredes into the corner. First from this side, if my memory serves me correct. Driven in, glancing header. Ocampos back out wide on the left. Whips it across, an easy grab for Ortiz. Something you mentioned earlier in regards to Lionel Scaloni. Think about the last decade. Nice step in by Foyth. The last decade of managers since Alfio Basile left in 2008. And the people that Argentina have tried to lift the Albiceleste back towards the top of the heap. They went with Diego Maradona first, then brought in Sergio Batista. Alejandro Sabella, who had done so well domestically. Tata Martino, who had starred with Newell's and coming back from Barcelona. Edgardo Bausa. Then Jorge Sampaoli, the Bielcista. And it's the unsung and in many ways unproven Lionel Scaloni, who seems to have calmed the waters.
Yeah.
But let's just say he's built the foundation. Can they build anything on it?
Well, so far, so good for Scaloni, no question, Phil. He'll be very comfortable in this stadium after playing for Deportivo La Coruña for 6 years altogether. Actually more, 8 years. 200 games for La Coruña.
Also probably doesn't hurt. He came up through Newell's around the same time there was a certain youngster who was coming up.
Imagine that. Imagine being in that team at Newell's when you got Messi kicking it about as a kid, saying, have you seen this kid?
It'd be kind of funny when you... There'll probably be stories one of these days that more people were showing up to the under-10 games than the senior games. Into the middle. Rodrigo.
Off that hose, that's a peach of a pass. Bravo!
Good weight for Acuña. Into the 18, deflected! It might go down as an own goal, but it was sheer brilliance from Acuña.
The pass, the setup, Acuña deserves to wear your batteries out in your remote controls as well, people. You're right, Phil, this takes a wicked deflection past Pedro Ortiz, but don't take anything away from the goal scorer. He could have pulled it back. He's got a number of options, but it's because of this pass, which is absolutely magisterial. A wonderful hold-up, controls, there's the pull-back that's beckoning. He goes for the square pass, I believe, and then it takes a nasty deflection into the funny house of mirrors. And it's number 2 for Argentina. But what a ball it was, Phil.
Espinosa couldn't get out of the way.
To set this up, we'll look at it again at half-time, I'm sure. And as you say, a wicked deflection by poor young John Espinosa.
Just the second cap for the Alcas defender. And at the moment, they're giving that as an own goal. Not quite sure if it was headed directly to net, as you said, maybe more of a cross attempt, but it does push it past Ortiz. And it looked like it was Rodrigo de Paul who had that long diagonal pass to set Acuña up.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. It was driven into the corner, but with the technique for such a soft landing.
When we see it again, I'm telling you, he has to slice through the bottom of the ball. He's not driving through it. So by slicing through the bottom of it, De Paul puts that negative spin, and I'm not being overly scientific, people. I used to love striking those balls myself in my old Pomp days. and it is something exceptional when you see it in live time like that. A beautiful visionary pass, but the technique is so much to take into account. The pace and how far you slice through the bottom of the ball. You've got to get it over a long distance, so it can't be too subtle. But that was perfection, nothing less.
One of your old competitors who was pretty good at it, Vladimir Bogicevic, but that was on the turf.
Right.
This was on natural grass.
Yeah, Bogi was out of this world with it. Kubias was another one that would step through a ball like that and slice through it.
He'd do it blindfolded, though. Not fair.
Many.
Poor clearance. Ecuador starting to get rattled. Argentina, as you pointed out, that comeback against Germany. You wonder, was this a wasted generation for Argentina? Under Lionel Messi the last 10 years, how close they came. Maybe, just maybe, there's a new generation coming up that will make sure that the cupboard is not bare.
Well, fitting in the other players, though, Phil, has always been Argentina's biggest challenge, and you went through a wonderful list of brilliantly talented, knowledgeable, invigorating coaches in their own way, but all with the same problem of fitting in, especially in the attacking mode of Argentina. These glittering players, and how can you leave out? When you look at their there's another beautiful pass again from De Paul.
Good hold, Acuña in front. Lautaro trickles through. A collision, and pointing to the spot, a takedown from behind. Lautaro Martínez earns the penalty, and it's going to be Argentina with a chance for 3. Luca Barbeno pointing to the spot. Ecuador arguing. Wow. It was a trickler in. I think it was Acuña from the corner. And again, look at that.
Wonderful pass from the back. And here's the pullback.
Ooh, he's going for the ball.
Does he get it, though? Here, you'll tell. I think he gets the ball.
Lautaro jumps in front, though. Just unawares. Darío Aymar.
Is it simultaneous? Well, not in his eyes. I think that's a little harsh. But maybe, just maybe, he's got that angle to look at. I'm not so sure at all.
Now, again, remember, if the attacker does get in front of the defender, basically between the defender and the ball, he is considered to be the player in possession. You see it the other way around when defenders jump in front and shepherd the ball across the goal line. So,
okay, but the fact remains, does he get the ball? It looked there to me as if he might have got the ball, as I said, simultaneously. Perhaps there's a nanosecond between contact of the ball and the player, but the referee saw it, given penalty.
Pedro Ortiz adding a little drama here, going over to the sideline. Now stepping back between the pipes. Can't touch him anymore. So now a little dancing on the line, which, according to the letter, is not allowed either. The chance for 3 from the spot for Argentina. Struck well, driven by Paredes into the back of the net. And it's 3-0 Argentina. They're cruising in Elche.
Cool, calm, cooler than a polar bear's backside. The ex-Boca Juniors man steps up and paints this one in. Take a look at this again, Phil. I think it is a penalty. From that touch there, I think he got him from behind. Thought he might have been able to stab through the legs and got the ball, but it looked from that last replay as if there was contact made. So well played, referee. Now I'll go put my dunce's hat on.
This is a young Ecuador squad, and they did come out strong, did come out aggressive, but now maybe that is starting to cost them. An own goal on a deflection, and now a penalty.
Well, I don't know, it's cost them. I mean, you cannot blame them for starting out as brightly and as impressively as they did, but they've been undone by class.
Delicate chip, settling,
nicely,
turning.
Good defending.
Aymar stays with him this time and deflected away for the corner. Of course, World Cup qualifying not that far away. Another Copa America right around the corner. That's what these two teams are looking for. And for Ecuador, even a little bit more with the Pre-Olímpicos. That's one of the reasons so many of the players out there 23 or under.
You know, we've done so many games in the South American World Cup qualifiers here at beIN Sports, Phil, and when Ecuador play at home, they are a team that can take on and beat anybody on their day. But there's a lot of stuff that's happened, and the stuff hasn't been good. That's disrupted this team. So we'll see, and wish Salicio all the best in putting it together again.
Driven near post, glancing header. Nodded away by Sornosa. Think back to the last World Cup qualifying for South America. Ecuador, who started so strong, only to collapse down the stretch, finishing ahead of only Bolivia and Venezuela. Well, Argentina had their issues. They ended up finishing comfortable third.
Well played.
Speaking of issues, Brazil.
Nicely again. That's lovely one-touch passing. Well defended.
Chiche getting the five-time champs top of the table. Their last two games, as you saw earlier on beIN Sports, touched
Beautiful.
into the area.
Magic.
Estrada poked wide by Pezzella.
So unlucky Estrada was nearly the beneficiary of some wonderful one-touch play again from Latry. Wasn't they good, Phil? They put it together. That was brave, insightful, penetrative passing from El Tree. And it got them through with a beautiful chance for the Kannemann. Estrada.
But only on the far side, emphatically pointing towards the corner. Argentina argues, but quickly back to defend. If Ecuador can get a goal before the half, maybe something to build on. 6 in the box. Into the middle, but a push inside, wasted effort. Free kick Argentina. Ecuador beat Argentina in the very first game of World Cup qualifying back in 2015. Followed that up with wins over Bolivia and Uruguay, then Venezuela, a draw against Paraguay. And then things started to wobble a bit against their rivals from Colombia. What looked to be a assured berth in the World Cup ended up being another year of disappointment. Into the 18, the pass a little behind. Decent control by Estrada out wide, stepping in Acuña with a bite.
Wouldn't fall for him, would it?
Free kick for the northern South Americans. Of course, they have been to the World Cup 3 times, 2002, Germany 2006, and then 2014. Marchesín ready to put this back into play. Ecuador have not won 3 games in a row since 2015. It's going to take quite a comeback if they're going to equal that stretch. 3-0 down, approaching the 40th minute. Weaving to the inside, Castillo. Hard ball, but well handled by Mendes. Cifuentes. 20-year-old central midfielder. Argentina with the 3-goal lead catching their breath just a bit.
No excuses here. Stranded position where he should not have been. The offside trap. Again, played Alario. His goal against Germany was very good, but his performance overall was the real narrative. Player that's really been given the chance now from Bayer Leverkusen and shown up well, Phil.
Ocampos as well, who was on the score sheet. Strong challenge by Foyth. Dispossessing Castillo, starting a break the other way. Alario refuses to go down and finally gets the whistle.
Yeah, he was trying, referee was trying to do the right thing and giving him the advantage of driving through. Lucas is beautiful here in tattooing the ball to his right foot a number of times, and he takes a couple of clips that the referee could have called earlier, but Mendes is that gets the yellow peril. He has the lovely dripping of the honey on the ball. Again, wonderful play from Lucas Alario.
Orlando City man in the book now.
The defenders watching, will they be applauding that? Good old-fashioned tackle by Juan Foyth.
Does have that feel. Speaking of the next generation, headed back into the middle. Ortiz the easy grab. Foyth seems predestined to step in at one of those center back spots. Scaloni, a little bit of a wrinkle here today, going with three in the back, and it seems to be working. Just a hair offside. One back in the midfield by Argentina. Mentioned the last time these teams met, Celico was in charge as well. That was the Lionel Messi game in 2017. 2015, that first match, Ecuador victorious. Goals from Frixinerazo and Felipe Caicedo. Seems like ancient history from Ecuador, and it was only 4 years ago.
Right. As I said, games that we've done with those really cracking players for Ecuador, a lot of times they were a joy to behold, especially at home when they really turned it on. But as we said, this is a rebuild team and still continually rebuilding. But in Saliso, Phil, they've got a man that should know all these young players. He was the under-20 national team coach, so he saw them come through and knows a lot about them on a personal level. So maybe he is the right fit.
I'll probably go back to the under-20 coach if they do give the job to someone else. Some of the names that are in consideration, I don't know if you saw the list, Ray, but Jurgen Klinsmann, Fernando Hierro, Luis Enrique, all targets. And Francisco Egas, the president of the federation, says that they will be trying to bring in a big-name boss. Although Celico can get a victory here today, might keep his hat in the ring.
Well, going to have the hell of a mountain to climb. Get 4 goals back on this Argentina side.
Alario switches. Again. Ocampos camped out in the middle, but the ball goes wide and not right on the same page. After Martínez, 9 goals already for Argentina for such a young player, and really starting to blossom for his club Internazionale. One of the reasons they are towards the top of Serie A. Nico González, speaking of Jurgen Klinsmann, back at his old Stuttgart, making his debut today, the 21-year-old midfielder. Espinosa, well weighted. Out comes Marchesín into the middle, deflected, but no one home, and then blasted up and over. Kannemann harassing just enough.
He's got to get there. Simple as that. He's not exactly harassing. This is good football again. And Marchesín comes and tries to claim it. It's not claimed. Kannemann's got to get here. Nice hold-up play from Estrada. Pulls it back. He's got nothing in support in the box. One-man wrecking crew up front, but again, Kannemann doing the mop-up work.
Sornosa. Off-balance pass, though. Trickles across, throw in Argentina. 10 minutes gone since the penalty goal from Paredes. Ecuador trying to calm the waters a bit. Only one win in the last 7 for Ecuador. Well, they have been able to get 3 draws, so not exactly an easy team for Argentina to beat. But today, making it look easy. Still awaiting the schedule for November for Ecuador, although Argentina is scheduled to play Paraguay. And a Super Clásico also against Brazil in the wings before the year is out. Final minute of this opening half regulation, ticking to a close.
Being played at a nice tempo, this international friendly. And 2 teams in full transition mode, both rebuilding in a different way, of course, and different talent pool to pick from. But if any of those coaches that you mentioned, all those exceptionally gifted coaches as well that you mentioned, Phil, be looking at the raw talent that Ecuador has on tap at a young age. It looks like a team that could be well drilled into a fist of a team, and it looks as if it's there, but that's continually been one of the concerns of Ecuador, isn't it? Individual talent has been well documented, just been too flashy. Playing against teams always, as I said before, give you a real good game, especially at Ecuador, but I'm going to take some reconstructing. Whoever gets it, whoever gets the job full time, and I'd be too surprised if they stick with the ex-Universidad Católica man and the man that they've got now.
First half
well
in the books.
Here, and yeah, 3 good goals from Argentina in my book. Own goal, of course, can be argued about, but it was a good performance by Argentina again for Scaloni. A good individual finishing and construction, and I think it's a fair scoreline so far.
Alario, Acuña, and Paredes. Argentina by 3 at the break. Two more to come for Ecuador. Andres Lopez. And then Valencia will also jump in. Looks like Espinosa among those 2 exit. Sornosa another. Lopez for Espinosa. Plenty of changes as the second half gets underway. We'll try and get you up to date. 3-0 Argentina at the break. Phil Shane, Ray Hudson with you. Diego Pesolano, Juan Fernando Mora on our Spanish side. Feel free to hit the SAP button, but we're glad you've joined us. For Argentina, very intriguing. And again, the lineup that was called in, the pool that was called in by Scaloni into the area, trying to come around Marchesín, but The angle was off.
Not quick enough. A great opportunity here for Ecuador as they wriggle through.
Slotting in, anticipating well Valencia, as you might expect, the veteran on this team. 51 caps,
Agustín,
29 goals.
Marchesín comes across and denies him that opportunity to pick his spot. That's good goalkeeping from the Porto man.
Valencia just 2 back of Tintin Delgado as the all-time leading goal scorer, and he had a good chance to get number 30 there. And as you said, Marchesín stepping in. Ecuador trying to get some of that composure back. But Reyes, I was going to say, an hour into the game against Germany, Lina Scaloni was in trouble. 2-0 down, a little disjointed, but they came together for the last half hour, and they've been solidly in control for much of this game.
Well, against Germany, though, they had shown throughout the game, and I thought that was a pretty impressive performance by Germany to grab that lead, and they played some wonderful football from deep through the midfield with one-touch passing that was really South American style. It was beautiful embroidery of the passes over that sort of distance from Germany, and then Argentina had rattled them though and asked some serious questions of Marc-Andre ter Stegen.
Strong run, Plata hasn't seen much of the ball. Here he gets the foul just outside the area.
But the spirit and the collective nature of Argentina, to not just have the spirit knocked out of them after an authentically nice display by Germany, they regrouped themselves, and they had been in the match, is my point, Phil, when it was 2-0 down. Argentina weren't exactly stinking the place up, but as the game went on, they got better, and throughout the game asked questions of Germany. So it was a real good confidence booster for them, and they've carried that on here today.
Luca Barbeno trying to keep things calm. A bull rush from the penalty spot as Ecuador trying to chip into the lead. Whipped across over Marchesín and into the back of the net. A golazo from Ecuador. Angel Mena off the bench onto the score sheet. What a goal.
Well, he's signifying that it was fully intentional. And we don't want to take anything away from Meya's masterpiece if it is intentional. He's got some wonderful targets to hit. I think he's going for goal. On that angle, this one looks as if he's going for that, where the spiders live, in the corner of the upright and the crossbar. And that's an incredible strike from the substitute Meya. I had my suspicions, Phil, especially the way his team was lined up against that laundry line of Albi Celeste shirts, that a ball stung like that with that sort of dynamic is going to be in between Marchesín and his defensive line, but I don't think that was the case. I think he went for gold. What do you think?
And I think Marchesín did not know where he was. He thought that one was going to go wide of the post. He doesn't even make an effort. Maybe he knew he couldn't. But the new boy from León, his 4th goal, and all of a sudden we have a game. Valencia with a golden chance early. Now Mena's goal. Here comes Ecuador again. Whistled across.
Great ball. Wonderful
just a little
pass.
high.
Wonderful pass. Stung over the distance from Gonzalo Plata. And he loved that. Whatever he said in the locker room. And Ecuador fan says, is this our team?
Nope.
What a response out of the locker room for Latry. And you can hear the great fanatical Ecuadorian fans absolutely going disco up there with that astonishing goal.
Si se puede, they sing. Paulo Dybala saying you can't do it through me. Good look at Mena trying to apologize, but a little bite needed by Ecuador. Been a bit of a rough season for Dybala. Now trying to get back on track, both for club and country. At Juve, almost a forgotten man. And for Argentina, the question, can he and Messi coexist? A little stumble inside the box. González seemed to be impeded, but the referee says no foul. Ecuador on the board, challenging early. That's what you want to see out of your team. Again, it is a friendly. It's a learning experience. Salico making the adjustment with 4 switches at the half, and thus far seems to be working. Charging down this near side, it's Lucas Ocampos. Strong in his right foot, trying to cut back to his left. Back across the middle, Ocampos, but offside the call.
Well, we've had some wonderful goals here. This is a... Ooh, I think that one is onside. And if it is off, it's by a cleat length. Got an axe to grind, doesn't he? No?
Nico González, the debutant. Smashed back by Kannemann. There's a certain calmness to his game. Not picking out any other defenders like Otamendi or the like, but there are certain defenders for Argentina who have the talent, have the skill, but when the ball comes near them, you kind of catch your breath. For Kannemann, rather sure-footed, at least so far. Acuña back. Two-way player here today. Hustling back to grab it is Plata. Can't cash in. Quick outlet pass from Rodriguez. Right back inside for Rodrigo. The foul gets it back, gives it back. Dybala trying to come across but couldn't get enough on it.
Oh, Bill, this one's got to be pulled back. Well, it didn't matter either way. Maybe you heard the flag coming up, but look at this. The opportunity, Dybala's got it. I think he's onside. The outstretched leg of Aymar, who clears that. I think that kept Dybala just onside, but then the pullback was just begging. It wasn't delivered. As I said, maybe. Oh, here you go.
Well,
The crowd will love
intriguing.
this.
Well, mention these are FIFA debuts. Referee Barbeno has been involved in several UEFA games, but these are FIFA debuts for these officials here today. And for the most part, they've done well, although questionable offside here or there. And it looks as though we're going to need a bit of a switch. Jason Barcelo, the Gibraltar man, stepping in as Barbeno seems hurt. So even the ref's getting subbed.
Well, he cannot run. He's got to make his own substitution.
Again, they were reffing just a day ago, just down the road in Alicante.
Remember in the old days, Phil, when this sort of thing happened in England in particular, and they didn't have a substitute referee waiting. There was no fourth official, so basically they had to send up the bat signal. And I remember this one game was on Match of the Day, and the great Jimmy Hill who used to be.
No, that's right.
Jimmy Hill came on and
With
ran
the
the line. And what's that?
With the chin.
There's nothing wrong with Jimmy Hill's chin, Phil. He was a statuesque man. He's a wonderful owner, the Detroit Express, of course, in Coventry City, where he was. And Jimmy was a decent player, very gangly, very much like a Peter Crouch type, but did a wonderful, wonderful job in England in being one of the revolutionaries, really, getting stadiums the way they should be, backing for players' rights and all sorts of things. A great Jimmy Hill. Anyhow, he came in and refereed and the crowd went crazy because everybody knew Jimmy as a regular commentator.
Did that make match of the day?
Yeah, and he did well. He did well.
And Lucas Alario, after a strong start, coming out. Nico Dominguez will check in, the 21-year-old from Vélez.
Yep, I thought Alario played well and certainly deserves one of the nice marks tomorrow in the Ole paper back in Buenos Aires. Nothing too stardust about this Argentina performance. Not individuals that are just absolutely stealing the limelight, other than, as you said, Acuña deserving full credit for his involvement. But it's been a much more tighter, coordinated team that we're seeing, and then with sprinkle in the stardust of a Messi and Di Maria and Kun Agüero and maybe Icardi, on and on. Some other players to come in as well, apart from those glitter bombs. But it'll be interesting how they convert this talent pool into the World Cup qualifiers that start very soon.
I was going to say, Ray, now in these days of nations leagues around the globe, friendlies becoming less and less possible. Some even foreseeing a day when they might disappear completely because you need the competition.
Yeah.
But it's matches like this that give you the chance to see some of these younger players. Would you roll out an experimental youth squad in a competition?
Right. A long way out this. Could comfortably a couple of yards more in, you'd be confident, but he's going to have to sting this one.
4 in the wall. We've already seen Mena do it once before. Mena Valencia might want to have a go for number 30. Mena will leave it, the ball blasted into the wall. Mena gets to the deflection. Out wide. Still in danger. Mena, I think that Valencia tracking it down, having his dancing shoes on the far side, but
it's interesting there. Foyth had the goalkeeper open, Marchesín, for a little roll back to clear his lines, but the youngster just turns and basically tries to whack it clear. Not the most cultivated type of defending from the ex-Estudiantes man, Foyth. Scored a great winner for Juve last week. Got a kiss from Cristiano.
Back to Nico Dominguez. Cross for Pezzella. Fiorentina defender chips it long. Headed towards the flag, but with some spin. Might be arguing, but González trying to run through the defender. Well played by Estupiñán in his debut.
Yeah, both players had decent debuts, especially Nico. Say the Stuttgart man. He showed up some nice bright moments, Phil, in that first half. Good response by Estrada's men here in the second. They've got a bit between the teeth. One goal wins in the sale. They're wonderful fans roaring them on.
Now against Pezzella. The replacement referee getting an early card out. Again, there's still some promising things we've seen from Ecuador, just maybe a little bad luck. One reckless lunge. Now with Ena Valencia out there, a little bit more experience, more balanced in the second half. Down near the spot, looked like a collision, but only whistle from the stands.
A little bit of sympathy for the ref as well, coming into a game like this as well. It's similar in a lot of ways to a substitution off the bench for a player. Maybe not as much athletically, but certainly a variety of different challenges for the ref to get into the slipstream of a game, to understand the tempo of it and how much of the combative nature has there been in the game. But this man looks as if he's slipped right into the traffic.
And physically for him, he just ran 90 minutes yesterday.
Right, that's right.
For the likes of Chile and Colombia, today's a day to rest and relax. He's out there back at it. And Lionel Scaloni. Taking a look again here, this is the wind to a close. Just one more set of FIFA dates before the year winds down. Has Argentina uncovered, well, pardon the pun, but any jewels other than Dybala that might be in the mix for 2020?
Very solid players, some good performances. Look out.
Dybala sneaks it through, deflected back to midfield.
Nice invite played by the Juve lad there. Beautiful ball played across, right in the face of Ortiz's men. I think there's been some good performances from Argentina on the individual basis, but I go back to the Scaloni, and he seems to be tightening a nice lasso around his team. We saw it against Germany. The promise of the individual integration has been pretty good, especially when you look at the disappointments of the past for Argentina. Well, two results if this one stays the same, which is no guarantee of that at all. I think Argentina will take a much needed lift from this international break and give them a passing grade. In Ecuador, second half, looking better. Oh, he rode it beautifully.
Draws the foul, free kick. Valencia rattling around the cage with Ocampos.
Ocampos is good on the run here, keeps it alive in Valencia. I don't think there's anything too malicious in the challenge, but it certainly seemed a foul lifetime again right here.
Meanwhile, mention Ecuador, much of this team, especially those that started in the picture for the Olympic qualifying tournament, which gets underway in January, not that long away, in Colombia. Will be Gonzalo Plata, who exits. Alvarado will check in for him.
Good ball.
Back post, smashing header, brilliantly set up, and Pezzella slams it home. The captain makes it 4.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy for Pezzella. But look at this pass, people. It's a jewel, all right. An absolute diamond thrown towards Pezzella, and he pounces beautifully, times his run to perfection on a beautiful seeing pass that literally grows eyeballs on its way to Pezzella from La Jolla. Look at the dynamic, people. Look at the way he steps through this. This work of art. It's poor defending, all right. It truly is poor defending. But a beautiful ball stabbed through over distance from Paulo Dybala and puts it on a golden altar for Pezzella.
Two Aucas players stepping in for Ecuador, and before they can settle in, Argentina stretching its lead back to 3. All of the substitutions have been made for Ecuador. Still a few left in the pocket for Scaloni.
Well,
and you look at the bench, Ray, this again shows how deep they are.
Look at that beautiful touch off of his chest.
Pushing it into the attack, the Paul, but did the hard work.
You can hear the remotes being picked up. The lads asking back home, where's my remote? Where's my remote? And take a look at that Rodrigo de Paul heavenly kiss off of his chest as he feels and sees the defender closing in on him. He absolutely chests it over the top of the onrushing defender and gets it on the other side. Well played.
Look at the bench for Argentina. Still have the likes of a Pereira, Correa, Damian Martínez. Can they put them together as a team? Just trickles away. Ahmad starting a break. Ecuador going up that far flank. The substitute Palacios on the overlap, and they will use him. Lifted into the middle for Valencia, but soft. Difficult to handle, but Kannemann gets some help from his friends. Offside Dybala. There you see, just on the wrong side of the stripe. Beautiful day in southeastern Spain for Argentina. Having more than just a t-shirt for their trip. Long shot gobbled up by Pedro Ortiz. And the next sub about to check in, and it's going to be Mati Vargas. Ocampos, maybe González. What's it say? It will be Nico González exiting, and Mati Vargas for his second appearance, the Espanyol attacker.
Another player that showed up nicely, not just solid, confident and nicely integrated with his new teammates, and certainly a real good performance all around from Nico González. Again, especially the first half, with some nice razzle-dazzle.
20 minutes to go. Fuentes trying to go down this near line. Marcos Acuña, maybe the player who's gotten the most out of this match, threading it forward, looking for the newcomer Vargas, but it rolls through to the Ecuador back line.
Certainly can't argue for any of the paying fans here today that have come out to watch this game on this beautiful, beautiful day. And seen some good footballing teams, and again, Argentina rising to the occasion. And Ecuador coming out in the second half and making much more of a fight on it. That three fans getting right down on poor Pedro. Well, stop watching Pedro Ortiz in the early going in the Copa Libertadores here on beIN Sports, Phil, for the Dolphins. Delfin. Good little side in the early going. Good lead.
And onside, charging in.
Nicely.
Ocampos forced to retreat. His long legs, though, coming to some use. Acuña staying back. Warm tail end. I guess memories of summer evening
Nice.
in Elche. Argentina turning up the heat themselves a bit. Down goes Rodrigo de Paul.
Oh,
Beautiful flip. Dybala.
who else?
Ocampos thought there'd be a run, but Dybala too busy snapping pictures. Into the handball. Argentina wanted a whistle. Valencia pushing that back line, but the pass never comes. Estadio running into trouble. Ball wide for Ocampos. In the middle is Vargas if they can find him.
Crowd recognizing and instantly appreciating the different dimension of a player like Dybala once he does get in to this game. Just something a little bit extra, just something a little special about him compared to a lot of the other players. And there's a lot of good footballers down there on both sides of this footballing pitch. He's just one of those players, Phil. It's got that element of the promise of magic in a different dimension. Certainly still working at the consistency of it, but it's there.
Trickles away. Good step up de Paul. Gets it back.
Nice.
Curl into the middle.
Oh, well
grabbed
played.
by Ortiz at the top of the 6.
Good leaving of the line, much to his relief. George looks on and gives his winks of approval. Ole! Oh, beautiful.
Around Nico Dominguez.
Nicely.
But quickly claimed back by Argentina. Now again, legs tired with the final 15 minutes approaching. Victories over Peru and Bolivia, one over Argentina, would have gone a long way towards solidifying Seleco's hold on this national team spot. But
You don't sound as if you're too confident that George will keep this job.
some of the names they're talking about, with Luis
no
Enrique, I kind of have a feeling, just because of the personal issues and the sad passing of his daughter, he's taking some time away.
Yeah, I don't see that at all.
But Fernando Hierro, I think, would jump at a possibility. Jurgen Klinsmann maybe as well.
Yeah, Jurgen's been out of the game for too long. To come back in, and well, he'll certainly be able to use that helicopter of his to get up to Ecuador.
And there are several available in South America. Again, the one, call it a sticking point, but the intriguing factor is what happens to those 7 players who are currently in purgatory.
Yeah.
Antonio Valencia, for as old as he is, we've seen he's still able to contribute, but some of them still with a lot of national team duty left if last Copa America did not go according to plan.
This again, what a peach of a pass from Dybala.
Ball upended, possession maintained though.
The feet, softness, nicely. And again.
Lays it in. Dominguez tries to keep it moving. Ocampos. Pezzella adding a goal here in the second half to get it back to 4 after the brilliant free kick from Angel Mena. And now it looks like our final action perhaps for Argentina. One more to go. It will be Renzo Sarabia checking into the match. The 26-year-old from Porto, Marchesín's Portuguese-based teammate, making his 7th appearance as Juan Foyth will exit. Solid game for the Tottenham young defender.
There's still certain rough edges around him, for sure, but as you say, Phil, you're only going to be able to polish those roughnesses away with games like this, and certainly he's going to be a part of this squad for a long time, the 21-year-old Foyth.
This changes things just a bit. Sarabia more of a traditional right back, so could push someone else up into the attack. Nice touch by Dominguez, laying it back, but Ecuador quickly through. Kannemann barreling into Estrada, and now a little trip in the midfield. No whistle, well, a late one, says the ref. You take a look at Rodrigo.
Yeah, it's a nice piece of skill to evade, but there seems to be very little in there. Let's take a look again.
A slap.
Yeah.
Stronger than he looks.
Denials.
One more substitute left, should Scaloni wish. Into the corner, Palacios. First time he's been pressured at left back. Saved by the whistle. Estrada leaning in. The man from Macará doing a lot of the hard work here today. We are still looking for that next generation of strikers in Ecuador. Valencia stepping up and on the verge of history. Look at the likes of Miller Bolaños, Brian Angulo, even João Plata. Real Salt Lake attacker in the mix.
Well, I think all in all, Phil, they've shown some real signs of improvement and coming together. There's a complex situation that the Ecuador Football Association's got to deal with, and have tried to do their best in the reprimanding of players for not upholding the Ecuador flag in the right way. So a lot to contend with. There were signs here today, and there's been signs in the 2 previous games and their victories, that they're starting to get their mojo back.
Fast feet from Vargas. Tripped up before he could get the pass away.
Proud battlers. And that Angel Mena goal, he certainly looked. You heard the instantaneous response from the crowd, for all the Ecuador fans, just how passionate they are about their football.
And then the final substitution for Argentina. Valero stepping onto the field. 20-year-old from Borussia Dortmund, just his second appearance as the captain will exit.
Yeah, Fiorentina man comes out, played some lovely passes from that back line, and very composed for the most part.
Headed back down, trying to find a shot. Blasted into the corner by Dominguez. Two chances inside the box. They could not find the trigger. They lay it to the top, and Dominguez hits the bullseye.
The beautiful strike. It's more technique than it is power. The power is a prerequisite, but the way he steps through the ball is impressive. It's nicely kept alive inside of the box. I think it was Dybala who got a little tickle on it as this ball's being played in. It just keeps it alive, and then the pullback, pushback is beautiful. But look at that, steps right over the ball and drives it into the ground over the distance, keeps it low, and it's a bouncer that Pedro Ortiz has got no chance. It would have blissed at his fingertips had he got a hand to it. So another sweet goal for Albi Celeste for number 5.
The player you were talking about was Guido Rodriguez, the American midfielder. He was thinking shot. The bounce didn't work that way, so
right.
The settle and the layoff made it easy for Dominguez.
I don't know about easy.
Easier.
Thank you.
Debut goal for Dominguez. 5-1. Sometimes you can say it might be an undeserved one, but this is different. It's a 5-1 lead Argentina's had to work for, but they've gotten the job done.
Yeah, with quality goals. That deflection is the only one that could be considered.
Might not be done.
Again, lovely lead. Again, for Dominguez to run onto. It might be a little harsh, Phil, but I think, in all honesty, it's a fair reflection of the game. The high quality of Argentina was always there, but they imposed it upon them. It's all right to have that quality and that extra pedigree about them, despite the fact that Ecuador showed this type of football, especially more in the second half. Again, beautiful.
Ball forward for Estrada from Valencia, ridden off though by Kannemann.
But the difference between them is undeniable, and it came out in a much more coordinated fashion than Mena's men, and that's no real knock on them. Showed up, fought fiercely and sparkled a lot of the time, but Argentina were certainly always a couple of gears up ahead of them. So all in all, for Lionel Scaloni, he's got to be well pleased with this international break and what he saw on the new drafted players in, and the way his team come together. And for Saliso, we saw some green shoots perhaps coming through. The promise of more. I don't know when that decision will be made, whether to extend his contract as the full-time man in charge, but I think he should be given a chance.
Chance wide on that overlap. Final 5 minutes in for Rodrigo, who's got the full 90 today. Udinese midfielder. Wide for Acuña. all the way back. There's Kannemann. By the way, that last one was the substitute Valero cutting across nicely. The Dortmund youngster threaded forward, flicking it. Dominguez whipped in towards the corner, denied by Ortiz, still in danger, and blasted home. Lucas Ocampos. It's 6-1 Argentina.
Nothing more than he deserves as well. The Sevilla man likes his Spanish cooking, and they've seen it all too many times before. It's a lovely finish. Cross between a French rapier sword and a good old-fashioned shotgun. He stabs through it. It's nicely kept alive here and badly dealt with by the goalkeeper. His fists of fury don't get the ball away with distance and puts it at an angle without one touch to control it. And he's certainly got De Paul waiting for the square pass. He says, I see you, pal, I don't need you. And a smashing hammer home from Ocampos.
And again, credit for Rodrigo De Paul for making that run. Maybe enough of a distraction that Ortiz thought that was going to be the play, but he leaves his near post unguarded, and Ocampos makes him pay.
See it so many times before. I've argued all the time with our Gary Bailey, the ex-Man United and English international goalkeeper. Why don't they use their fists? When a shot like that comes into you, what have you got to lose? Gary says there's no control once that ball, that shot, the initial shot comes in. But if you're just patting it down like that, Phil, aren't the dangers even greater that the follow-up is going to happen? I mean, that's ball is put down on a welcome mat for Ocampos. Harsh criticism of Pedro Ortiz, but still think he could have dealt with that better on the initial shot.
Just knocked away. Well, the one point I would say is if it's one of those situations where you think the ball is going to curl away or just far enough away that if you use your fist you might not get there or might not get enough on it, then you can extend your fingers.
But he did. The curling shot wasn't, he had it
coming
covered.
Back to him.
He had it covered all day. So he's already made the adjustments. It would have been a fine save had he been able to even put it behind the line. He can put it behind and away and take the corner to defend. When you're slapping it down like that,
they are having fun in Elche.
yeah, well, just wait till after the final whistle goes if you want to see when the real party starts.
For Pedro Ortiz, a day that started out so promising ends with a bruising scoreline. 6-1, and Argentina might not be done yet. Talked about the hard work of Acuña on one flank, Ocampos on the other. Second cap, second goal.
We're talking about the quality of Argentina. Wasn't it just exemplified there again? That's that difference in the class. I can't imagine Marchesín facing that initial shot wouldn't have took it behind his post. And then the finish from Ocampos is a brilliant. It could just be the difference. That gap of quality.
Driven across, sails all the way to the back post. Cifuentes trying to get it back in but can't.
Ecuador fans behind there, though, I applaud you. Behind that goal. So promise in that second half, but it was dealt with by Argentina after probably the best goal of the game from Angel Mena. What a goal for Ecuador.
Carried away by Nico Dominguez, who's done well off the bench. The bleached blonde locks.
Yep.
With one goal, setting up another. 21-year-old from Vélez. 4 minutes to be added. The man who started this game in the middle and ends it on the sideline. cross to the youngster Valero. Estadio up the line, dispossessed. Mena looking, trying to thread it through. Valencia playing off of Estrada up front for Ecuador. Dybala. Just behind the run. Rodrigo de Paul carries all the way to the corner.
Another player, Rodrigo de Paul, there making the right run. Not found by Rodriguez there, but he's had a good game as well, Phil. The Udinese man showed up nicely in the first half. Some beautiful passes. They want to set up the strike for Acuña. It resulted in the Espinosa own goal. It was a real highlight reel for him. But, well played by De Paul. Well played by the coach as well, Lionel Scaloni. Full credit to him in this international break. It's not too often you'll see the write-ups in the Ole newspaper back in Argentina praising the coach of the national team, but I think he deserves true plaudits, Phil. I don't think he's going to be the next greatest, but he's certainly had an effect. He tried his best, that gentleman, George Saliso.
Scampering back Acuña. Of course, when you deal with a team, and it's not just Messi, but like Argentina, former World Cup champion, perennial challengers and contenders, there's egos involved. I know it's the English word manager, not a técnico, but I don't think they need much work on the technique in Argentina. They do need management.
Good comment.
And he's calmed the waters. Something Jorge Sampaoli not really known to do. Trying to glance it forward, but not quite able to flick it on. Alvarado. Roll back for Ortiz is down to our final 45 seconds here at the Martínez Valero. Good trip for Scaloni. He goes back home with several of his players. Many others will stick around and head back to their club teams in Europe.
Well, it's certainly treated to some nice football, sweet football from both these South American teams. Pace of the game was nice. Nice tempo to it, nice rhythm, and some goals that decorated this stadium for both teams. Well played, Scaloni, and good try in the second half for Latry, but Argentina's quality rises like cream to the top.
Acuña involved in the first 3 goals, and then 3 more in the second half with Mena's brilliant free kick sandwiched in between. But when it's all said and done, Argentina a comfortable 6-1 win over Ecuador.